When do you first remember feeling the Holy Ghost?
That's a hard one to answer. I do remember an early experience was I announced to my parents that the last day of spring quarter, my freshman year, that I had decided I wasn't going to come home for the summer because my friends had convinced me I could earn a lot more money if I stayed in Utah. As it turned out, and there was no option because I'd already signed a lease, and within a couple of days I discovered that I couldn't get any of these super high-paying jobs in the steel mills, for example, and so I ended up accepting a job at the high school, at the college, and I remember during that time period I received a copy of the history of my childhood hero, my maternal grandfather, who was the history teacher after whom I had planned to pattern my life. And I remember how impressed and amused I was in reading quickly in that book that I almost missed an opportunity to hear Elder Harold B. Lee speak to the Education Week. And he told of an experience that he'd had with an Indian chief who was a key person, I think, on the board of directors of Phillips Petroleum or some such organization. And he got he had an inspiration to tell this man an allegory, and I was so impressed, but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why he thought that this was such a wonderful thing, and so I had studied the Book of Mormon carefully during the previous school year, and was well into study of the New Testament that summer. And in the fall I enrolled in a Pearl of Great Price class, but I really wanted to know why this admired apostle thought that this particular example was so very special. And I remember talking to a number of my friends about, with certain successful missions and so forth, their help on understanding what he was saying or what he had said. And I prayed about it, and I studied the scriptures, and I went ahead and was diligent about doing all of my duties in church, including finishing off my assignment as being responsible for preparing and distributing the sacrament twice a Sunday, originally for about 1,800 students in the campus branch. But they had built dormitories for another 1,000 girls, 960 to be exact. And I remember as I was passing the sacrament trying to focus on what I was doing, all of a sudden it came to me. It was the answer of my prayers for several months, and it related to scriptures that I'd learned about from the Pearl of Great Price, and I was so impressed with how simple and beautiful it was that I found myself when I got to the French mission trying to share that understanding that had been given to me by the Holy Ghost in response to my prayers and my studies, so forth. Before it hit me, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Certainly, if I found it hard to understand and appreciate this simple statement, putting this on the plate of those who had never had anywhere near the knowledge that I had gained. I was just making their life miserable. So I don't really even remember that statement, but I'll never forget the feeling I had when the cobwebs had been cleared away, and I've had a number of experiences of a similar nature, not always with that long a time fuse, but that's the first one that I really remember where I knew that the
That's awesome.
Holy Ghost had been the carrier of that to my mind and heart.